Hi there, Gary from Cosmic Sound here. We're here to have a look at a couple of Boss delay pedals and have a bit of a shootout. We've got the new DM2W analog delay Wazacraft, which we've got the expression pedal plugged in, and the DD3 classic delay pedal, digital, and the digital DD7 pedal as well. Let's start with the DM2, the Wazacraft analog delay. As I've just said there, it is a trio analog delay using Bucket Brigade delay chips. So we've got a very classic analog warmth to the sound. A very short delay time, but this is where there's a few features on it that we'll just quickly go into. On the top of the pedal, we've got a repeat rate control. Now that is your classic delay time. Then we've got the echo, which is the amount of blend of the dry and wet signal, and the intensity, which is basically a feedback control for those used to digital delays, so we can specify how many repeats we want. We've also uniquely got an extra switch on this, which changes between standard and custom mode. Standard mode has about 300 milliseconds delay time, so a very short echo, kind of an alternative to reverb really, and the custom mode, which gives us up to 800 milliseconds of delay, which is very unusual in an analog delay. Okay, so what we've got there is just a sort of classic little echo effect. We've got no effects coming from the amp at all, so it's just clean signal through the delay. So basically using it as an echo. If I switch it to custom mode, that extends the delay time up to about 800 milliseconds. So we get a much longer slapback, and it's a really good opportunity to hear the difference between analog and digital. When we hear the delays on the analog, they're a lot warmer and they get softer and softer as the treble gets rolled off. So it has just a real classic sound, a very desirable sound. Okay, so that's the basic sounds from the DM2. One of the new features of the DM2 is that it does have a rate control input, so we can control the delay time from the AV5. On the original analog pedal, a lot of guys would just bend down and adjust the controls. So now we have much more flexibility, and some of the craziest sounds that you can imagine can be produced using the expression pedal. Let's have a bit of a play with that. So what I'll dial up is a bit more intensity, so we've got a bit of signal regeneration. And then the delay time itself is set to maximum on the unit. And basically, as I adjust the AV5, we will get different delay times. And it actually causes a pitch shift effect whilst it's happening. So you get some pretty wild, almost synthesizer-like effects. So we can just use it to change the delay time and give a sort of minor bend in the sound. Or you can get those drastic effects by setting the intensity really high and just letting it feed back with the AV5. Super sci-fi. Okay, so let's switch to the Boss DD3. So this is a digital delay pedal, 800 milliseconds maximum, and we basically have the same controls, although they have a different name on them. What we have is an effect level, a feedback control, the delay time, and then we have a four-way switch, which allows us to choose different ranges of delay times, and also a hold mode. With the DD3 being a digital pedal, we get really clean delay sounds. So whereas the analog DM2 has a sort of warm roll-off in the treble, what we get is a pristine copy with the DD3. So if I basically put a big delay sound on and have a bit of a play with that, when we get the delay sound, the treble doesn't roll off, so it stays pure to the sound for the whole time. So we get more of a sort of a staccato effect. An interesting mode with the DD3 is that we have a hold function. So if I were to play a chord and I tap the pedal, it will create a sort of loop around that chord and what I play over the top. So a really useful mode for generating just a little bit of backing under our playing. Okay, let's move to the DD7. Again, a digital delay. What this one has though is a lot of extra functionality. It's a stereo pedal, so it has full stereo in and out. We've got more than 3 seconds delay time on this one, reverse mode, a modulation mode, and a short loop function as well. So we still have the super clean digital delays, but we have a potentially longer delay time if we need it. We can literally play phrases and then jam over the top of that. Some really wild things you can do with the DD7. But the primary thing is just that purity and the stereo sound. Let's have a look at the different modes of the DD7. We have a switch on the right-hand side which allows us to switch between reverse, analog, modulate, the same kind of hold mode as on the DD3, and then the switch which takes us up to the different delay times. If we go through them quickly, this would be the reverse delay. So if we wanted to make that a bit more intense sounding, very psychedelic. So if I switch to the next setting, which is analog delay, it's not actually analog delay, it's basically a simulation. So what it's trying to do is roll the top end off and make it sound a little bit like the DM2. So we can hear the delays sort of just being a bit more natural and warm in some respects. But still nothing beats the classic analog sound of the DM2. If we switch to modulate, what this is actually doing is performing almost like a chorus function on the delay sound. So it's modulating the delay time slightly, and so we can hear it. It's almost as a vibrato effect on this one. Okay, we've also got a hold mode on the DD7. Now this is not the same as the one on the DD3. On the DD7, this is literally a loop function. So if I were to play something, we've now literally got that as a loop. And I can overdub. So basically a straightforward loop station. When we're in delay modes, there is a couple of interesting things you can do. If I were to hold a pedal down for 2 seconds, it will switch into tap tempo mode. So I'm actually on the 3.2 second longest delay mode, but now when I tap my foot, it will actually just set the delay to that time. For those Brian May moments. So let's have a quick word about the sort of the core functions and the core purposes of each one. The DM2 is a super warm analog delay. Just beautiful classic sound. We've got the crazy extra functionality of having the EV5 plugged into it, but it's basically more of an echo kind of pedal. The custom mode, however, does allow us to get delays up to 800 milliseconds, so we can get a really great sound. When we need that purer, cleaner resolution, we'd switch to the DD3 or the DD7. The DD7 is your sort of basic, super clean delay, up to 800 milliseconds with a hold function. However, sometimes we want control of the things like tap delay times and things like that. Say we've got a drummer that's not, when you're playing live, tempos can drift a little bit. With that tap tempo function on the DD7, we can kind of correct things as they're going along. We've also got the loop function on the DD7, and it's fully stereo. Okay, so we could choose one delay pedal, but I choose all three. Let's go for a reverse delay on the DD7, a pretty regular delay on the DD3, about 400 milliseconds, and we're going to adjust the delay time on the DM2 with EV5, which for a limited time we're actually giving away with the DM2s, so get in while you can. Let's have a listen to what all three pedals sound like together. Hours of fun. Thanks for taking the time to check out the video today. Each of these delay pedals has a really unique function and sound, so it's really worth popping into the store and checking them out. But you can also visit us on Facebook or at cosmic.com.au.
Whether you love playing live, DJing in your bedroom, or hearing your songs recorded for the first time, Australia's leading musical instrument retailer Cosmic Sound would love to help, because that's what we love too. Check us out online at cosmic.com.au.
Hi there, Gary from Cosmic Sound here. We're here to have a look at a couple of Boss delay pedals and have a bit of a shootout. We've got the new DM2W analog delay Wazacraft, which we've got the expression pedal plugged in, and the DD3 classic delay pedal, digital, and the digital DD7 pedal as well. Let's start with the DM2, the Wazacraft analog delay. As I've just said there, it is a trio analog delay using Bucket Brigade delay chips. So we've got a very classic analog warmth to the sound. A very short delay time, but this is where there's a few features on it that we'll just quickly go into. On the top of the pedal, we've got a repeat rate control. Now that is your classic delay time. Then we've got the echo, which is the amount of blend of the dry and wet signal, and the intensity, which is basically a feedback control for those used to digital delays, so we can specify how many repeats we want. We've also uniquely got an extra switch on this, which changes between standard and custom.